What are your thoughts on the Inquisition?
We've got a pretty well-balanced organization. I'm a fan of diversification and all, but do we have the strength to handle major issues when they come up?
What do you think of our general?
He needs more to do, honestly. Right now, he spends all day cleaning his armor with a lost puppy look on his face.
How do you think Josephine is handling the job of ambassador?
You might want to find some tasks for her before she rearranges the war room again.
What do you think of Liliana's work?
She scares me. Mostly in a good way. At least I'm reasonably sure she's on our side.
Good to know.
Back to work, then.
Does it even become a strain sometimes?
Well, it can be trying. There is no shortage of self-regard among the nobility. The game can be wearying, discouraging, and extremely baneful. But honestly, I'd miss meeting people. I've made the most fascinating friends.
I'd never put up with treachery just for the chance to shake someone's hand.
A betrayed confidence is a painful thing. I try not to think about it often. A trick one learns to keep their wits about them in Orlais.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Are you a merchant of some sort?
I am Tanner, the clan's craftsman. Leather, ironbark. These are my specialities. However, Keeper Howin has forbidden trade with outsiders we do not know or trust. You seem fascinated with our camp.
Do you have anything to trade?
The Keeper has forbidden trade with strangers we cannot trust. Please understand.
You were the one they called the Herald of Andraste. I've heard so much about you and your Inquisition. There's talk, even amongst the Dalish.
Ah, talk. What do they say exactly?
Well, the clans are worried about what this might mean for us. The Dalish, that is. No matter what they say, your Inquisition is the only thing trying to help the world. I wish I could be a part of that.
An unusual wish for a young hunter of the people.
It won't happen. Keeper Howin won't allow it. He doesn't trust anything to do with the Chantry or Andraste.
I could try to convince your keeper.
You could try.
I'll take my leave.
Elkanan, the stores are so low.
You seem troubled.
It's nothing. Just our stores. With the Shem War and the demons, replenishing them has been difficult. For one, we're almost out of herbs, and we lack materials to repair the arivals. I don't even remember. There's so much we're missing. It's all written in my ledger.
Please don't get too close to that. They're unused to strangers.
I won't disturb them. Rest easy.
Maceranis. I did not expect such kindness from a stranger. May I ask, traveling these plains, have you come across a golden hat? I fear human soldiers may kill her. If she would only draw close, I could gain her trust. I could protect her.
I've heard of a golden Halla. You call it Hanal Gillen, the Pathfinder.
You have heard the legend. I'm amazed. Yes. Some of us believe she comes to the people in times of great need.
Why do you think soldiers hunt your Halla?
Pelts and horns sell for gold in gem markets, I hear. And if they were gold. Goodbye then.
These are not good times to come unbidden before the people, especially here, where we remember the destruction of our home at the hands of humans. My patience is thin, with all that has befallen. Perhaps you should be on your way.
I've destroyed the demons on your sacred ground.
Yes, but our hunters watched you from afar, and they know you defiled our graves, and that you stole a relic, and with it broke open the vault at Unadin. But I shouldn't expect an outsider to understand. The demons are gone, and we should be thankful. A small token of our gratitude then.
What has befallen your clan?
Your Legion war has hindered our progress through the dirt. The armies cause rock slides. They dig ditches that trip the Hala and destroy the Arvels, making passage impossible. Precisely when the clan needs him most, my first, Tavin, defies my wishes and mounts an excursion to the Emerald Graves. And now, I've learned that the grounds of Bar Balanaris are infested by angry spirits from the beyond.
I've already cleared your sacred burial site of demons.
Really? How could you? No. I shan't question the gift from the creators. Thank you. You have done us a great kindness. If I may share something else with you, there are strange glyphs inscribed in the stones of this place, revealed only with Veilfire, although they are elven in origin. I cannot make out their purpose. Perhaps they will mean something to you.
Why do elves call this plane the Dearth?
When the people settled here, we called it Dearth of Erin. The promise. For the Dales were promised to us by Andraste. It is still the Dearth to us, even if the Shemlin give it a name that recalls our destruction.
One of your clan wishes to join the Inquisition.
You may continue to wish. I will not let Lorna leave with you. Not when I'm uncertain of your intentions. Another time.
Look, already she makes herself known to the others. She knows she's meant to be here. Thank you, Lethaline. I will never be able to express my gratitude.
Enchanter, you have joined the ranks of the most select mages. You should be commended. So few have the discipline necessary.
I didn't realize you were a Knight Enchanter, Vivienne.
Of course I am, darling. Knight Enchanters serve in the highest echelons of the Chantry and Circle. Where else would I be?
It was an easy decision to join the finest mages in Thedas.
It always is, my dear. But not everyone can manage it.
How will you choose to extend your reach today?
With an Illuvion, Corypheus could cross into the Fade in the flesh. Indeed. The Inquisitor can attest that these artifacts still work if one knows how to use them.
What happens when Corypheus enters the Fade?
Why, he will gain his heart's desire and take the power of a god. Or, and this is more likely, the lunatic will unleash forces that tear the world apart.
We don't have to worry about this Illuvian if Corypheus isn't alive to use it.
Stopping him thusly would be ideal, if you could manage it.
Pardon me, but does this mean everything's lost unless we get to the Illuvian before him?
Corypheus has a head start, no matter how quickly our army moves.
We should gather our allies before we march.
Can we wait for them?
We should send our spies ahead to the Arbor Wilds.
Without support from the soldiers, you'd lose half of them.
Then what should we do?
You follow the orders of your Inquisitor, all three of you. Josephine, have our allies send scouts to meet us in the wilds. Liliana, your fastest agents will join them. Together, we'll have enough spies to slow down Corypheus' army until Cullen's soldiers arrive.
Such confidence. But the Arbor Wilds are not so kind to visitors. Old elven magic lingers in those woods.
We'd be remiss to not take advantage of your knowledge, Lady Morgan. Please, lend us your expertise.
'Tis why I came here, although it is good to see its value recognized.
Any further instructions, Inquisitor?
Remember what Corypheus has done while you plan. Every loss, every setback, every death. Let him learn what it means to be an enemy of the Inquisition.
We'll hound Corypheus in the wilds before he can find the temple or this Illuvion.
Inquisitor,
How goes the battle, Captain?
we're holding, barely. The Red Templars are fighting harder than ever with their master nearby. Our scouts saw Corypheus traveling towards an elven ruin to the north. We can clear you a path through his armies.
Do only what you must. We need enough people for a celebration when we get back to Skyhold.
We will not fail you, my lord, no matter what comes. Andraste guide you, Inquisitor.
I wonder, is it Andraste your soldiers invoke during battle, or does a more immediate name come to their lips?
Another way to let people down if I falter. Thank you for the reminder.
'Twas not I who raised an army of faithful to storm this land, Inquisitor. But I digress. If your scouts report accurately, I believe these ruins to be the Temple of Mathal.
Which is?
A place of worship out of elven legend. If Corypheus seeks it, then the Illuvian he covets lies within. Let us hope we reach this temple before the entire forest is reduced to ash.
Faith, we are gladdened to see you, Herald. This day will be recalled for ages. We are privileged to witness the fulfillment of the Inquisition's purpose.
There are other ills, Your Majesty, that the Inquisition may be called upon to attend.
We will note them with great interest. Men and women of faith serve you. Their favor is no less than our own. Their service no less dear. With Orlais at your side, we will see you victorious against Corypheus. May you walk in the light.
Renews itself. So must the faithful renew their love of the Maker. Your penance shall be a joy. Serving him with a heart of love unbound. Your struggle shall be a gift, for it redeems you in his sight.
Maker, let me be a worthy servant, that you might take me unto your side.
My thanks, your worship. Andraste must hear you. I was a pilgrim at Haven. I saw the wreckage and how you emerged to lead us. If the Maker bids me serve you, it will be done.
Namelana Sabanale.
They still think to fight us, Master.
These are but remnants. They will not keep us from the Well of Sorrows.
Well of Sorrows?
Be honored. Witness death at the hands of a new god.
It cannot be!
Across the bridge! Now!
At last, Mathal's sanctum. Let us proceed before Corypheus interferes.
Yes, indeed. We all heard Corypheus say he came for the Well of Sorrows, not an Eluvian.
I am uncertain of what he referred to.
Could they be the same? Could Eluvian translate into Well of Sorrows?
No. It seems an Eluvian is not the prize Corypheus seeks. Yes, I was wrong. Does that please you? Whatever the Well of Sorrows might be, Corypheus seeks it, and thus you must keep it from his grasp.
Let's find this well before Corypheus's people do.
It appears the temple's magics are still strong.
Is this Elven? Does it say anything about this Well of Sorrows?
Atishol vir Abalasan. It means enter the path of the Well of Sorrows.
There is something about knowledge, respectful or pure. Shiven. Shivenen. 'Tis all I can translate. That it mentions the well is a good omen.
Vague translations of knowledge and sorrow don't fill me with confidence.
Supplicants to Mathal would have first paid obeisance here. Following their path may aid entry.
Some chantries display statues of Andraste's betrayer Mafarath as part of the chant.
It might fulfill a similar function. A reminder of vigilance for the faithful.
For all your knowledge, Lady Morrigan, you cannot resist giving legend the weight of history. The wise do not mistake one for the other.
Pray tell, what meaning does our elven expert sense lurking behind this?
None we can discern by staring at it.
You two look like you're about to kiss when you argue.
'Tis time we pressed forward.
Agreed.
Yes.
Are you certain Corypheus is using the power of the Blight to make himself immortal?
Perhaps you forget. I was in Ferelden during the Fifth Blight. I have seen a true archdemon rage. How Corypheus gained the power to send his soul into blighted bodies, that is the real question.
Will answering that question let us destroy Corypheus for good?
Perhaps. I would suggest first dealing with the well. If Corypheus obtains it, any chance of success could be lost.
Do you know what this part of the temple was used for?
The room we stand in is a vestibule, not the temple proper. To those who knew it, perhaps this ritual was little more than a polite knock at the gate. These customs must have been as familiar to ancient elves as bowing to a queen is to you or I.
I find it difficult to picture you curtsying to anyone.
Why our dear Empress tolerated that is one of the mysteries of our age.
Why, Madame Vivian? I expected sweeter barbs from a tongue as subtle as yours. Does this place unnerve you, sir? Or is it I?
You unnerve me as would a cockroach crossing the floor, making me think new accommodations might be required.
Much better.
You said this Mythal was worshipped as a goddess.
So one assumes. What is a god but a being of immense power? The dread old gods were nothing more than dragons, after all. They rise as archdemons, and they die. Perhaps Mythal was a powerful elf, a ruler among her kind. History often plays storyteller with facts.
You admit lack of knowledge, and yet dismiss her so readily?
I do not dismiss her. I question her supposed divinity. One need not be a god to have value. Truthfully, I'm uncertain Mythal was even a single entity. The accounts are varied.
There are varied accounts of Mythal.
In most stories, Mythal rights wrongs while exercising motherly kindness. Let fly your voice to Mythal, deliverer of justice, protector of sun and earth alike. Other paint her as dark, vengeful. Pray to Mythal and she would smite your enemies, leaving them in agony.
More Dalish tales, I assume.
If you know more about this, Solus, speak.
The oldest accounts say Mythal was both of these, and neither. She was the mother, protective and fierce. That is all I will say. This is not a place to stir up old stories.
Whatever the truth, all accounts of Mythal end the same. Exiled to the beyond with her brethren.
What do you mean, exiled?
Tricked by the Dread Wolf, as all the elven gods were said to be, trapped in a land beyond the Fade. Many Dalish believe this is why the elves fell from grace, and their gods did not save them. Or perhaps they were simply rulers slain by Tevinter. Who can say?
You've seen the elves here. They seem odd.
Indeed. Two things are possible. One, this is a group of Dalish separated from their brethren, cultists, fanatic in their desire to keep humans away. Two, these are elves descended from the ancients, having resided here since before the fall of Arlathan. The second appears unlikely, but if true, the implications are astounding.
If they keep records, it could change everything we thought we knew about history.
It is thrilling, no? To discover an era thought lost forever has possibly thrived in the shadows. We may, however, find these elves reluctant to part with their long-kept secrets.
Hold them off!
Hold a moment. While they rush ahead, this leads to our true destination. We should walk the petitioner's path as before.
Lady Morrigan was wrong about Corypheus seeking an Illuvian. Do we trust her now? While we dally with rituals, Inquisition soldiers die outside these walls. Down is swifter.
In this case, I must agree with the witch. This is ancient ground, deserving of our respect.
You see the urgency? We cannot find the Well of Sorrows unprepared.
We don't know what's behind those doors. They might have a reason for going another way, but...
Had they the option, they would have proceeded. That must lead to their goal.
Their goal? Or yours?
There is a danger to the natural order. Legends walked Thedas once, things of might and wonder. Their passing has left us all the lesser. Corypheus would squander the ancient power of the well. I would have it restored.
I wasn't expecting your answer to be so... romantic.
Trust me, your surprise is matched only by my own. Mankind blunders through the world, crushing what it does not understand. Elves, dragons, magic. The list is endless. We must stem the tide, or be left with nothing more than the mundane. This I know to be true. I read more in the first chamber than I revealed. It said a great boon is given to those who use the Well of Sorrows, but at a terrible price.
What exactly did that altar say about the Well of Sorrows?
Like most elven writing, it was insufferably vague. The term I deciphered was Halam Shivanas, the sweet sacrifice of duty. It implies the loss of something personal for duty's sake, yet for those who served at this temple, a worthwhile trade.
Is your real goal the power inside this well?
Yes, if that is the only way to preserve it. My priority is your cause, but if the opportunity arises to save this well, I am willing to pay the cost.
And gain what?
That is what we must discover. The rituals may point the way. "'Tis not what I expected. What was this chamber used for?"
We're being watched.
Vernavis, you are unlike the other invaders. You stumble down our paths at the side of one of our own. You bear the mark of magic, which is familiar. How has this come to pass? What is your connection to those who first disturbed our slumber?
They are my enemies, as well as yours.
I am called Abelas. We are sentinels, tasked with standing against those who trespass on sacred ground. We wake only to fight, to preserve this place. Our numbers diminish with each invasion. I know what you seek. Like all who have come before you, you wish to drink from the Vira Belasan.
The place of the Way of Sorrows. He speaks of the well.
It is not for you. It is not for any of you.
So you're elves from ancient times? Before the Tevinter Imperium destroyed Arlathan?
The Shemlin did not destroy Arlathan. We Elven warred upon ourselves. By the time the doors to this sanctuary closed, our time was over.
Wait, that's not right. What are you saying?
You would not know truth. Shemlin history is as short as the pool of your years.
What did the Imperium do then? Are you saying it wasn't a war?
The war of carrion feasting upon a corpse, yes. We awaken only when called, and each time find the world more foreign than before. It is meaningless. We endure. The Vira Belasan must be preserved.
What is this Vira Belasan exactly?
It is a path. One walked only by those who toiled in Mithal's favor.
He speaks of priests, perhaps.
More than that, you need not know.
Solus, perhaps he'll listen to you.
What shall I say, Inquisitor? Shall I sway him from a millennia of service by virtue of our shared blood? He clings to all that remains of his world, because he lacks the power to restore it.
We came to stop Corypheus. He's here to take your well, not I.
I believe you. Trespassers you are, but you have followed rites of petition. You have shown respect to Mithal. If these others are enemies of yours, we will aid you in destroying them. When this is done, you shall be permitted to depart. And never return.
This is our goal, is it not? There is no reason to fight these sentinels.
Consider carefully. You must stop Corypheus, yes, but you may also need the well for your own.
I accept your offer.
You will be guided to those you seek. As for the Vira Belasan, it shall not be despoiled, even if I must destroy it myself.
No!
Before my countrymen came along. Could that be true? I can hardly believe it.
This would be our guide.
Mytholanast.
That's helpful, since Morrigan chased off on her own.
Dear Morrigan left to use the well herself, undoubtedly.
You tough bastards. A day's march, hours of fighting, and still fierce as dragons. The Chantry never knew what it was throwing away.
Samson, sir, watch out!
Inquisitor. You and those elf things don't know when to stop. We come to the back end of nowhere, and here you are.
Leading the Inquisition takes me to all sorts of interesting places.
You came too far this time. Corypheus chose me twice. First as his general, now as the vessel for the Well of Sorrows. You know what's inside the well? Wisdom. The kind of wisdom that can scour a world. I give it to Corypheus, that he can walk into the Fade without your precious anchor.
What's your part in it? What's a vessel?
What else empties a well? I'll carry its power to Corypheus. One more task entrusted to me. Being force-fed Chantry lyrium was good for something. This armor makes me a living fortress, mind and body. I won't forget a word of the well's knowledge. Corypheus will be unstoppable.
Once Corypheus is that powerful, you and your soldiers will just slow him down.
Is that the best you could do? You're no match for Corypheus. Even if you drink from the well, you'll never master its wisdom as he could. This is the strength the Chantry tried to bind. But it's a new world now, with a new god. I will bring Corypheus the well's power and your head, all at once. To arms!
take it from Corypheus. You mustn't.
Still alive. He's tough. We can take him back to Skyhold for judgment.
You heard his parting words, Inquisitor. The elf seeks to destroy the Well of Sorrows.
So the sanctum is despoiled at last.
You would have destroyed the well yourself, given the chance.
To keep it from your grasping fingers. Better it be lost than bestowed upon the undeserving.